Hi everyone and welcome along to the 5th of December. What is behind the door today? Oh, we've got a lovely snowy postbox ready for all your letters to Santa. Grab your paints and let's get started. So it's very important early on in December to make sure that you or your family members have written their letters to Father Christmas. And cool thing, in the UK, the Royal Mail have a special address for Father Christmas, so you can post your letter in the postbox and know that it's going to get there. So we've got 2 vertical lines, and then I'm going to do a slight curve there and have a little dome, which is going to be a snowy dome. And our post boxes are kind of as iconic as our phone boxes, really. Although you don't see the post boxes quite so much. Actually, you don't see the phone boxes all that much either. But the iconic red is just so cheering and sort of reassuring. So I'm going to put the little notice on there, which usually tells you like when the post is collected. And then further down you get a sort of black base to it, but I'm not going to sort of put in the bottom because I'm going to imagine that in the UK there is some snow, which would be nice. And I also thought it might be nice, maybe because they are quite sort of synonymous with London or lovely smart towns, cities, we're going to put a little railing fence in behind as well. And we can put a nice little top on the railings, make them look really smart. Lovely. Okay, so we'll just give it a little roll with the kneadable eraser, get that pencil just knocked back a tiny bit, and then we can get painting. And I'm going to begin with a tiny bit of a snowy background. So I'm going to take some of my silver, and I'm going to I've got a bit of blue in there as well, and I'm going to just build up a nice sort of surround, real faint wash around the edge. It sort of stops with my snowy ground there. And we'll let that just dry 100%, and then we can start painting our post box. So I've got a tricky challenge here where I want to create the effect of snow, but I don't have like a thick white paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it by negative space initially. So I'm going to imagine that snow is on top of the dome there, and then I'm just using my red and I'm using my size 0 brush. So the post boxes I've seen do have a little bit of detail across the top band. So what I'm going to try and do is leave little bits of unpainted space as I go down. So this next band here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the bottom of it And then I'm going to sort of do that to sort of come up with the snow. And then with my letterbox opening here, I'm going to paint in the sort of interior band as such, and then I'm going to sort of create that lump on top of it. If you want to just use some white paint, you can do that, but I'm keen to try and do the whole thing with the paint set that we've got, because that's kind of the whole point. But of course you at home can do whatever you like, can't you? Okay, and then this is the little sort of plaque that tells you when the post is being collected. So it's got a bit of a ridge on it as well. I'm just going to fill in the whole thing, and then I'm also going to use a little bit of the Alizarin Crimson as a low light, a helpful low light. I'll do a little bit of snow on there as well. Yeah, a little bit of Alizarin Crimson to help me create a low light on areas of the post box too. So in here I've got a very concentrated dark mix of brown and blue, and then I've also got Alizarin Crimson, and it's quite concentrated too. And what I want to do is use it just here and there. It will only be a subtle low light, but quite often that's all you want. Just to sort of come in at the edges of this post box. And give our little details a bit more of a chance to stand out. And then I've got this really dark mix because the base is black, and this is a very good black sort of substitute. And then I'm going to paint the inside of the letterbox. And then this little plaque has a little frame that we're going to see most of it, but not all of it. And then, of course, we can paint the railings in this colour as well. So, again, if you wanted to, you could use a fine line pen. But, like I say, it's my job to show you that it is possible to paint these things with the kit and the brushes provided. So the last little bit of the black I want to do is just to put a little date on the post box. That's cool. Okay, so the last thing is a little bit of the snowy shadow. Whoops. I don't really want pink. I've got a rather pink brush. So I need to get a little bit of blue. There we go. We'll just dilute that down. Maybe a tiny bit of that in there actually. That's better. Can you see that? There we go. Get rid of that bit of fluff. So we've got our sort of slightly grey blue silvery snow, and what I'm going to use it for is to help just define some of these snowy bits. And there we have what I think is a rather magnificent post box, and the 5th of December is done and dusted. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget, once you've finished your painting and it's all dried, just give the pencil a little rub out and you'll have your beautiful post box for the 5th of December. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!